Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm going to be playing the solo mode in Stamp Swap, the latest from Stonemaier Games. And disclaimer that I was sent a review copy of this one. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So Stamp Swap is a competitive game for 1 to 5 players where, you guessed it, you're collecting stamps with different colors and themes and values and shapes, trying to align with randomized contest cards that'll give you different bonuses for how you collect those stamps. But the collection itself is interesting in that each player is drafting items from a big collection of stamps and bonus cards and things, and then once each player has 6 items, they reserve one of them, and they split the other ones up into 2 groups, and then the other players get to take away their groups and kind of decide which thing they want. So you're trying to set up groups to make them appetizing to people so you can keep the stuff that you actually want and hope they don't take the group that you want, so you got to give some things up, make tough choices. Really cool. And the solo mode manages to, I think in a pretty impressive way, model a lot of that. Although the drafting is gone in the solo mode, you do automatically get a collection of stamps to fight over. But they use these Automa tokens to kind of give a preference to the different things that come out, and that way you can kind of control what the Automa wants. So let's just get right into it. It's a pretty straightforward game. And it's also pretty quick. We're going to play through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Each of the days has a collection step where you get items, a swap step where you do the whole cutting thing and select which one you want, and then a show step where you score one of the cards, and then we have a final show at the end. So let's jump right in and show you how each phase works, starting with collecting. So for collecting, you take these Automa event cards. There's a different deck of event cards for when you play competitively. And first you flip up one. And for this first one, you're just looking at the top. And this is going to tell you what type of stamps and what size and how to assign them to the large pile and the small pile. And this is the AI's cutting of their stuff. So these are 2 groups that you're going to decide which to choose from in a moment. Now, stamps that have white are face up. You can see what they have. Ones that have the back of the stamp are hidden until you actually pick them for your pile. All right, so just to show you, we have some small rectangular stamps, 3 of them, and you always orient the steps so that the value or like the cross-out canceled stamp icon is in the upper right. So there's like a vertical stamp here, there's a horizontal one. So to talk about the core characteristics of the stamps, first of all, they have a shape. You already see that, and that's actually going to go on a grid in a second. Then they also have 1 of 5 colors, which also changes the border a little bit. So there's a yellow stamp. And then they have 1 of 5 themes. So anything that has the background of stars and like sci-fi stuff is a space stamp. So there's a 3-value yellow space stamp. And all of that will interact with different cards and contests and stuff. And again, I can't see what this small square one is. I can't see what this other small rectangle is. The forever stamp is a sort of competition for majority. The AI starts with 1, I start with 0, and at the end of the game, the person who has the most gets 10 points, the person who has the second most gets 6 points, the person who has the third most gets 3 points, and in a 2-player or a solo game, you have a third kind of fake player that has 3 of these. So like right now, I have 0 and the AI has 1, so they would get second place and I would get third, although you do have to have at least 1 forever stamp to even get third, so I might want to grab that at some point. But okay, that's their pile, and this first event card we discard. We don't do anything else on it, just this top thing. And we draw another event card, and this time we're looking at the bottom. These are the items I'm going to be splitting up and looking at, and we also have an event. We'll get to that in a second. Let me find these stamps. All right, so here we go. I've got 2 face-up small rectangles and 1 face down. I've got 2 of these larger rectangles. Sometimes these are split into 2 small square stamps that are combined, and sometimes they're like 1 long rectangle. And then I've got another face-down small square. Now, for my own pile, I'm allowed to look at what they have on the other side. This, by the way, is a canceled stamp, which is usually not good. It's not worth anything, but some things do call for it. And also, I didn't call out before, but negative stamps are like faded and messed up. You can see the Eiffel Tower one's kind of faded, so they actually are worth negative victory points at the end of the game. But yeah, so nothing too impressive here. Now, finally, to end the collect phase, I have to do the event. Gift for Pinzetta, that's the name of the Automa. Place 1 item for your daily collection rightmost in Pinzetta's large pile and another rightmost in her small pile. Oh, interesting. So usually they'd have 5 items and I'd have 6, but I'm about to give them 2, making their piles bigger, and end up with only 4. Let's see. Let's put this cruddy one here. I don't really want to get any of those. I can avoid both the negatives. But then I guess I need to make this one a little balanced. I don't know, how about this canceled blue one here? Okay. So then I discard both of the events and we go into the swap phase. So this is where we're going to cut our stamps, our stuff, into 2 piles, and the other player will choose one. And first, I cut my stuff, and Pinzetta chooses, and then they cut theirs, although it's already cut, but there are some modifiers, and I choose. And this is where the only vaguely crunchy part of the solo mode is. We have to value the stuff in the piles. So first I get to value what my things are worth, and we're going to put these little tokens on them to show. So first of all, in each game, certain shapes of stamps are worth more to the bot. And that's based on the yellow card. So here I got the large squares in one group. And I picked the matching solo board for the bot, and you'll see that they like large squares and small squares. Those are going to go on the left side of their board, like they don't actually put their stamps on a grid, you just put them over here, and these are going to be worth a lot more, whereas these ones on the left, all the rectangles and the double squares on a rectangle, those are going to be worth a lot less for the bot. So because of that, anything that matches one of their preferred shapes is going to get 2 of those tokens, because again, it's worth a lot more victory points to them. If there were any cards, which we didn't get any of yet, or forever stamps, those would be worth 1 each, so they get 1 token. And there are rare stamps that have a sort of gold foil effect. Those are worth 4 because they're worth a ton of points. But yeah, so here, this is actually everything that the bot cares about. And now I get to split these into 2 groups, and then the bot will pick which one they want to take. Oh, and I should say the large pile automatically gets an extra one. That's there to remind you. So right now, it's like if I split it this way, it's 1 versus 2. Sorry, let's actually wait till I pick the large pile. But I get to reserve one of my things, although I cannot reserve a rare stamp, even if it's hidden and like nobody else can see it. So yeah, I'm going to take this stamp here. It's worth a lot to the bot. It's a 1-point thing. This is fine. So I'll put that over on my reserved area. So we'll get to that in a second when we place out all our stamps. Here's the grid where you put your stuff. And now I got to divide this up. So, let's look at the contest real quick and see which of these is maybe better for me. So in each show step, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm going to put one of my tickets on one of these cards, and that's the only time I can do it in the entire game. So I'm going to score 3 by the end of the game and not a 4th one. Each of them has a different kind of thing. So this one is saying color sets. If I get one of each color stamp on my board, I get 9 points for each set of 5. This one is for each separate group of a single theme that I pick, I get 3 points. So themes are like the actual pictures. So this is the vehicle theme. So it's saying separate groups. So like if these were together right next to each other on my grid, then they would be part of the same group. But if I separated them away from each other, then there'd be 2 separate groups. And if I picked vehicles, I can get 6 points for these 2. Okay, then large squares in one group. We haven't drawn any of those yet, but there are these chonky things here, and they're worth 6 per stamp that we fit in. And then finally, for every canceled stamp not on an edge, canceled stamps being any without a value with just this little thing here in the corner, those are worth 2 per stamp. Not bad. So yeah, looking at what I might care about, having another vehicle to go there, that's pretty good. It's also a different color. In fact, if I got all 3 off, that would be 4 different colors there for the color set. A lot of canceled stamps as well. This one is the same color as that, so that's kind of worthless to me. So which one do I want the most when I make my group? If I'm going to keep just one, I guess this one is kind of the nicest because I cover 2 colors, 2 more colors to go with this one to get me very close to a color set. It's 1 canceled stamp. So yeah, let's put this by itself because they're more likely to take the large group, as you'll see in a second. And I'll put these 2 there. And now the bot decides what they want. So none of these have any bot tokens because they aren't especially valuable to them. But they get 1 token for the larger pile. So how does the bot decide? I shuffle these 8 decision cards, and all the stuff on here is only used at the end of the game, but you'll see there are 3 cards. I just want to kind of walk you through the strategy here because it's pretty easy to understand. There are 4 cards, that have a number of crossed out tokens, and when you draw one of those, you're going to get rid of that many tokens from the pile that has more tokens. So it's kind of like the surprise thing where even though they seem to want this pile more, whoops, they actually go for something else. But if it's got a blank, which is the other half of the deck, then you don't get rid of any tokens. And after you get rid of any number of tokens, then they're going to take the pile with more tokens left. If there's a tie, they're going to go for the larger pile. So here it doesn't really matter. They're automatically going to get this one. Because even if they get rid of some tokens, it's still going to be a tie and they'll take the larger pile. And if they get a 0, so yeah, it doesn't really matter. But hey, let's go ahead and draw. Hey, they got a blank. So this has the most tokens. So they take both of these for their collection. And I'm left with this one to place later. Okay, now we go to them cutting and me choosing, and things are already cut, but we still have to check the values because if there's a major mismatch in values, they'll actually switch some things around. So let's see, they got that's worth 1, the forever stamp. This is worth 2 because it's a small or large square. And also any stamps that have a 2 or 3 value are worth 1. And that's going to be it for this. Oh, and sorry, I should add 1 for the largest pile, although technically that's just kind of like part of the board. So now what will trigger them to switch something to make the piles more equal is if one pile is winning by 3 or more tokens, which is the case here, 4 versus 1. So they want to equalize things a bit. So what they do is they take whichever thing has the most tokens in the one pile, in this case, this square one here, and they swap it with whichever stamp has the least tokens, the fewest, in the other pile. And whenever there's a tie, like here, these both have 0, they go with the leftmost one. So this is the new potential choice we have, which, yeah, it's actually decent. Well, I don't really want all these negatives, do I? I want the forever stamp, but I can get one later. The canceled stamp wouldn't be too bad. This is several colors to help with that color one, but that's 3 points all by itself. That's base 1 there. And I know the square is going to give them a lot of points, so yeah, I am going to go ahead and pick the one on the right. So they get all of these, and I get these, and I get to see them now. Oh, it's just all the canceled in the world. Well, that'll be good for that one goal. All right, so now we're about to go to the show phase where we actually score points. You do this 3 times in the game, and the AI is going to put their stuff out in a very basic way. For these shapes, they will put them in this leftmost spot if they're worth 1 or fewer points, and here if they're a 2 or 3 stamp. And then for this one, they put them here if they're 1 or less, or here for 2 or 3. See the 2 or 3 up here? So basically, the more valuable stamps are going to go in this inner section, which is going to be worth more points generally. All right, so this one is a rectangle. Actually, they're pretty much all rectangles. And let's see, that's another canceled one. So yeah, I think basically everything except the forever stamps, which are collected down here for the majority, is going over there, which is generally going to be the least valuable pile for them. So even though they got a bunch of stuff, it's not going to be worth a lot for them most likely. This is where rare stamps go, and this is where if they get any of these attendee cards, which we haven't to draw yet, that's where they go for them. All right, so that's them. Let's get to us. All right, now I have to actually put my stuff out. Ooh, I forgot that I start with an exhibitor. It's giving me a bonus of 1 per animal stamp. So I might have wanted to do things slightly differently, like tried to get that 1 crane stamp. But I got the hippo here, so that'll help out. All right, so what do I care about for my stamp placement? Nothing except for what contests tell me. So the big things, the color one doesn't care where they are. It's just anywhere on my board. If I have a set of 5, I'll get 9 points. This one cares about them being separated. So whichever theme I seem to be getting the most of, I want to divide them up. This one cares about large stamps in one group, but again, I haven't gotten a single large stamp yet. And this one cares about canceled stamps not being on the edge. So right now I just want to have canceled stamps not on the edge, and I want themes to be separated. Oh, and I can't forget the final card. We pick only 3 of the 4 of these, but you always score this at the very end of the game. And here it's surrounded stamps score 3 each. And a surrounded stamp is one that is fully surrounded on all its orthogonally adjacent sides, and that can include the edge of the board. So like if I did this, that car stamp would now be surrounded. Although I don't want to do that because then the canceled stamps are on the edge. I don't love this. All right, let's try this. So I have the only, none of my themes are next to each other. These are the only 2 themes I have at the moment. Or sorry, the only doubled theme I have at the moment. I've got this stamp surrounded, because even though this is on a shared tile, these still count as individual stamps. So that's 1 surrounded stamp. With this, I'd be able to surround that pretty easily. With something up here, I might be able to surround that. And none of my canceled stamps are on the edge. But now I got to pick which one I'm going to actually score. Now I have to pick one of these, and that one is out for the rest of the game. So like if I score my canceled stamps now, I can't score them later. This one will get me 1, 2, 3, 6 for 3 canceled stamps. This one, if I picked vehicles, would get me 6 as well. And do I have all 5 colors? I don't think I do. Got purple, yellow. I don't have a blue. Okay, so that would score me nothing, and the large square one would score me nothing. So if I want to actually score something, it's 6 or 6. The question is, which one is going to go up higher? I feel like the canceled stamp thing is more annoying because I want to be surrounding stamps for the end goal thing. I don't want to worry about the knot on the edge. So I'm going to score this one this round. So I put one of my 3 tickets on that one, and I score 6 points there. I also get to score any exhibitor cards. And again, you start with 1 on your board. I have a single animal, so that's 1 more. Is 7 a great score for the first round? No, I would say it is not. But at least, I think I kept the AI score pretty low, too. And speaking of the AI score, you do not actually pay attention to anything on their board for their scores and these regular things. You only check their board at the end. Instead, you flip over one of these 4 show phase cards, and it's going to tell you which one you're looking at. So here they're scoring the color, and you check the number. This is 28. I'm playing on level 2, the medium difficulty. So I'm going to score them 10 points, and then they multiply it based on the day, because theoretically they built up more stuff. So 10 times 1, well, they're already in the lead, those jerks. All right, and that's it. This card is taken out. They will not score color again. Let's get to... Oh, that was showing. Sorry. Let's get to the collecting for Saturday. Again, this is pretty fast. I really got to get some more vehicles, or maybe some large squares, or get some blue to finish up my color sets. All right, so let's collect. We've got a card this time. So you shuffle these up and draw one randomly. It's an exhibitor, so it's going to give +1 per purple stamp. Ooh, I've already got 2 of those. So that's there, and that's in their large pile, and those are always face up. And I've also got 2, wow, it's a ton of canceled stamps. Sorry, I already scored that. And then over here, we're getting a small rectangle in our first large square. Ooh, it's a panda and a small rectangle. Okay, I discard this one. Draw another for mine, getting another card. Ooh, another large square. 2 more long rectangles, and then a short rectangle and a regular square. All right, so here we go from my collection. This is a rare stamp we're seeing now. I'm not allowed to reserve a rare stamp, even if it's hidden on the other side. Okay, we don't have any hidden rare stamps. And they don't have a theme. They don't have a color. They're just worth a butt ton of points. So that's all that they do for you. And what we got? Generous swap. Swap one item from Pinzetta's daily collection with one from your own. Ooh. Let's see, and I decide where it goes. I mean, this certainly seems like a nice thing, because I'm going to score this twice, so at least 2 and then 4 points. That is an animal, which I do score for, but that's also an animal. I mean, I don't have any blue stamps yet, so that's not great. If I swapped in a rare, then he would probably move stuff around a bit. Like if I put it here, this would clearly be the better pile, and they'd probably send it over there. Now, I do have 2 here, and that one also, that are worth extra to him. Are there any blue? Oh, there's some blues to finish out my colors, and that's a blue too. So I really do want to kind of get that one. So I almost want to put something... Well, that's already very valuable for him, so he's probably going to go for that. Yeah, so I really don't know. Well, let's grab that to have more control. I don't know. We'll give him this crud. Just make his pile worse and mine more valuable. Okay, now we get to the swap, and he's going to look at mine first. So first we get the evaluation before I decide what I want to reserve. So that's getting 4 as a rare. That's getting 2 as a large square. So is that. Oh my gosh. And so is that. That's getting 1 as being a card. So this is the only one I doesn't care about at all. And it's 1 point and another point for being an animal. So it's not terrible for me. So how do I want to divide these? I would love to get the rare stamp, but I don't want to give him like all of those. Okay, so let's put the rare over here. And I'd rather have that one. And then, like, what if I put 2, 4, 5? And that's 6. Oh, that's right. I get to reserve one. I shouldn't forget about that. What if I reserve? Yeah, I'll just reserve the panda. There we go. Now he can't take that away. And then if I do this, I think he's probably going to go for that. Although, do I want him to go for that? That's 2 really good ones for him. But that's a really solid rare for me. And I don't have any blues yet, so that exhibitor is not too great. Oh, that's another vehicle, which is still my strongest theme. Although I'll have another animal. Maybe I'll get a third one. This is a tough call. Oh, that's an animal too, which make the animal thing even better. I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, so let's see what he goes for. This is the largest one, so it gets +1. So that's 6 versus 4. So it's highly likely they'll go for the 6 one, or they won't at all. Gosh darn it. Because that takes away 4 tokens, which means, yes, they clearly are taking the rare and my little puffin guy there. Darn it. All right, so I get a blue stamp exhibitor that I don't really care about. And a flower vehicle. Yeah, that was not great. All right, so this is the large pile. 1 for the exhibitor. Man, this is trash. They don't care about anything else. So yeah, here this is ahead by 2, but that's not enough for them to switch things. So you don't know what that is. I think I want this one then, right? Yeah, I'm definitely going to go for this. Okay. And let's see what you piece of... Oh, it's 12? I mean, that's how it goes in the real game, like the competitive game too. Sometimes people just hide a rare and you have no idea. All right, so yeah, they did pretty well with points there with those rares, but everything else here is going into the trash pile. So yeah, still, except for the rares, not too good for them. All right, now how about for me? In terms of colors... I have a bunch of yellows. I have 3 blues. I have 3 purples. I have 2 greens. What's the last color? I only have 1 brown. So I am very close to getting like a 2 set for 18 points, or I could do the 1 set for 9. How about the themes one? Oh, I forgot. I can just do a group of 2 large squares for 12. That seems like the way to go, and then I can see if the theme or color set one does better for me next time. Because, yeah, what would I get if I did the separated themes one? Let's see. So I have, those aren't separated. So I have landmarks, 1, 2, if I separate them as well as possible, just 2. Vehicles, 1, 2, 3. Animals, 1, 2, 3. Flowers, yeah, I think it's all gonna be like 9. So let's do my large square one. I can just kind of put these wherever. Oh, except I do want to close things off, right, and not put themes next to each other. So I could do that. Oh, I have nothing to go in there. Gosh darn it. That's okay. And then I can do like that and that. I don't think there's any theme crossover there. And I can do that. Oh, and I don't want to. No, that's right. I do want the squares to be in a group together. So, of course, I want to do that. Cool. So that's going to give me a lot of surrounded stamps. Ooh, let's do that, too, and get another surrounded stamp. Heck yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do large squares in one group, 2, and it's 6 per stamp. So that's 12. And then I'm getting 1 per animal, 13, 14, 15. Getting 1 per blue, 16, 17, 18. 1 per purple, 19, 20, 21. That's a lot better. Got to lock in that. Yes, I'm up to 28. And this time they're going to do the canceled one. And it's card 12. They're scoring 8 times 2, 16. Awesome. Pulled ahead a bit. Yeah, I'm up to 2 ahead, although there's so much stuff that happens at the end. Who really knows? And it takes us into Sunday. Let's collect again. All right, so first, for them, we've got, it's a lot of squares they're going to like. A small square and a large square. I'll definitely steal that if they leave it that way. And some small rectangles. And that's what we ended up with. Ooh, that would both get me the brown I need. And it's also the exact right shape to go in here and surround 2 more stamps. So that might be worth doing. Okay, and how about mine? Got a bunch of stuff. Ooh, forever stamp. I don't have any yet, so that's worth 3 points at minimum. All right, there we go. And I got another one that can fill that spot, so that's good. Okay, jackpot. Add 1 item of your choice from the supply, face up to your daily collection, then reserve 1 more item this turn. Oh, but Pinzetta gets 5 points for free, but that's pretty cool. What do I want? I already scored those. I could just get like another forever stamp and make sure I got that. I mean, because I'm going for color sets and themes at this point, so like the other stuff doesn't matter as much. Let's do another one of that shape, because they tend to help me surround my stamps easier, I think. It said face up. All right. Actually, that's not that. Well, yeah, that does kind of fill a spot in my board a bit. That's cool. Okay, so the bot gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points for free. And now let's get into it. All right, so starting with me, we got 2 for the squares. We got 1 for the forever. That's a 3, so that gets 1. I think that's it. Oh, that's a 2, so that gets another one. Wow, so that's a very valuable stamp for them. And actually not necessarily as valuable for me. Well, here's the thing. I'm just going to reserve this one now as one of my reserves, because if they want it so much, let's just not let them have it. And then, that's a 3, too. Oh, I might reserve that one and just hope that I get the forever stamp. That's a 2, and it's a blue, which is worth extra. So those are both pretty good for me. And those are both vehicles, too, which might still be my best theme. Yeah, how? 3 points is not that much. Although that would, if they get that, they would tie the bot. So it's not just 3 points for me, it's also denying them tying for 10. So that's like a 7-point swing. So yeah, I am going to reserve that just to make sure they can't get it. Okay, and then they really want that one, and I wouldn't mind it at all. That one's great, too. What if I put like those together and make these the biggest group? I mean, do I really want this? That does fill a spot on my board pretty well. Maybe I mean, there's a chance they wouldn't go for that, but they would almost certainly. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'd let them get 1 square. Oh, that's a good one too. Maybe kind of want that. Okay, let's try this where it's tied, because this is the larger group. I don't really know how things are going to go. Okay, they discard 0, which means it's tied, and they take these, which I think is okay for me. All right, now let's check this one. So that's 2, that's 1, so it's worth 2 or 3. That's also 2. Oh, they're definitely going to swap something in, and that's the larger pile. Okay, so they're going to take the most valuable one, which in the tie is the leftmost, and move it there. So now this is still... Oh, I guess that's not the larger pile anymore. I mean, it doesn't matter. I get to pick. But yeah, so... That fills the gap that I'm not filling anymore, so I think I'm going to take these and let them have these ones. Ooh, it's a freaking... Yay, it worked out for me this time. I get a rare worth 8. Awesome. All right, that one goes here because it's got a 3 or 2 value. That one's over there. That one's over there. Man, that one's over there. And this one goes here because it doesn't have a 2 or 3, but it is finally the shape that they really want. Still, again, I think I'm really holding them to not great stuff. Okay, how about me? All I care about is filling spots. So let's do this one. And then getting whichever theme or color I have least prevalent. Boom, that covers that. Let's do this up here. That fills that one. And then this would do that. Seems pretty good. And that, oh, that's very good. And then I guess I could surround that one. And there's no real way to do this. Okay, so that seems pretty solid. Now let's quickly figure out which one gets me the most points. So for the color sets, I've got a ton of purple, a ton of blue. I've only got 2 brown. Yeah, I think that's still my lowest. Oh, and 2 green as well. So that'd be 18 points for 2 full sets if I counted that right. Or separate theme groups of 1 theme. Counting 5 vehicles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all separate. So that'd be 15, which is less than the color one. Is there anything better? Oh, I just realized this is another vehicle, but those are next to each other in one group. But you know what? I think in any case, I'm just going to go ahead and do the color set and get 18. Okay, so 18, purple stamp, 19, 20, 21, 22, blue stamp, 23, 24, 25, 26, animal stamp, 27, 28, 29. Not a bad turn. So let's see, 29 plus 31 is 60. So you put your 1 cube there. Oh, sorry, that's not me. That is not me. 29 plus 27 is 56. So I put my 1 cube there and my bonus cube here, all right? I'm sorry, that was a color set. And the AI scores their last one, which is going to be yellow, 24. They score 9 times 3, 27. I think that was better than me. All right, so that's 31, 27, so that's 58, right? So they go to the 50, and slightly ahead of me as we go into the final show, which is where we're going to score our surrounded stamps and other things. Looking over here, so we score forever stamps. Whoever has the most gets 10, second gets 6, third gets 3. You get the value of your stamps, like the negatives and positives. You score any specialist cards. For exhibitors, they aren't worth any, but specialists are ones you didn't see. Here, actually, let me show you one. They have cool ongoing powers, and they're also worth 2 at the end of the game. And then you score the finale contest. But let's do the AI first, because theirs is a lot easier. So if you're playing on level 2, they just lose 10 points straight up. We'll get to that in a second. On level 3, they don't lose anything. Next, they score their forever stamps. They had 2, but the imaginary opponent has 3. So they get second place and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now here I can take away their 10, so that puts them down here. Okay, now the major thing, we draw a decision card again, and this time we ignore that, and we're looking up here for values. And you can see what I said, the shape that they like is worth way more. So you're either getting 6, 10, 14, oh my gosh. So it's 14, and then 9 times 3 is 27, 41. And then we'll score the actual point values of these in a second, but for now it's 43, 45, 47, 49, plus nothing here. So 49, which I guess just puts them to 103. Then the last thing they score is the actual value of the rare stamp, so that's another 22. So that gets them to, what is that, 125? Not bad, not bad. Look at this. This is hilarious. So they have an intro mode where you don't really run the bot. They just kind of take stuff away, and then you really just score yourself. And look, they get 125 on level 2. That is not how it went in my last game, but it is always kind of around this. They clearly balanced it well to have a pretty consistent score. So let's see if I can beat 125. So first is the forever stamps. I got 3rd place because I did have 1, so I get 3 points. Next, I do my actual stamp values. 2, 10, 11, 14, 16, 18, 19, 20, 24. That seems respectable. So that would get us to 33. Boop. Oh, yeah, suddenly I think I'm not going to win at all. We'll see how my surrounded stamps thing does. Don't have any specialist cards, so yeah, we go to 3 per surrounded stamp. Now, this is a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think these are all surrounded. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Right? 14, I think. 14 times 3 is 42. So that gets me here. And then I guess it would be minus, so if it's 40, then I would jump ahead. Oh my gosh, did we tie? What the heck is the tiebreaker in the game? Dang, you know what the tiebreaker is? I never even had to look at this. It is the total value of rare stamps. So their 22 clearly demolishes my 8. Pinzetta. I had won my first game pretty easily on level 1. I thought I would maybe be able to win on level 2, but I guess not. Level 3 is clearly a bridge too far. But there you go. That is a quick play of Stamp Swap, the solo mode. I hope you enjoyed that. I do want to do a review of this one, but I got to play it competitively more and play solo a few more times, see if I can get up to level 3 difficulty. But yeah, definitely enjoying this one so far, even though the theme is not something I would usually gravitate toward. The play is pretty cool. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. Willie MF, Steve Wren, Nick Skeen, Pedro Lucas, and Miles. Thank you all, and thanks to all our patrons and everybody for watching. We'll see you at the next stop.